Welcome to episode 30 of Comic Book Nation, the official podcast of Comicbook.com. I am your host, Kofi Outlaw, and today I'm with my co-host, Mr. Matthew Aguilar.
What up?
And we've brought on one of our unknown knowns, part of the team. Since this is phase 4 of the podcast, you know, this is the comic book multiverse now, so we've brought somebody over from our sister site. The head of popculture.com himself, Mr. Jameson Brown, is joining us today.
What's going on? Good to be here.
All right, so we brought out Jameson because Jameson's a horror fan, and today one of the big things we're going to talk about is, of course, the release of the It Chapter 2 trailer, which currently has the internet shook, so we're going to talk all about that. We're also going to be talking about some of the musical choices that we've learned for Disney's Aladdin that's causing controversy in this office and probably across the interwebs as well. We will be talking about the lineup of summer movies. We're going to be doing a whole deep dive breakdown about the movies coming out this summer and what we're looking forward to and maybe not looking forward to at all. And we have our first details thanks to a Disney shareholder meeting of when we'll be able to see movies like Avengers Endgame and Captain Marvel coming home and being available for streaming, Blu-ray, and all of that. So we'll talk about that too. All right. So first up, let's get into it. This It Trailer 2 It Chapter 2 trailer has dropped and managed to scare the bejesus out of most of us. Pretty much all of us. The trailer was something that they kind of took from CinemaCon that they had showed in longer detail. And it basically it's a scene which we were talking about. First of all, we like this approach. It's not just a whole run of the entire movie. It is just a scene that features Jessica Chastain as the grown-up version of Beverly Marsh. She comes back to her old house where all that really dark stuff happened with her father. And there's an old lady living there now. So she's just trying to kind of take a stroll down memory lane and come into her house and chill out. And she's having tea with this old lady. But, of course, things take a turn for the twisted because it turns out this is not just some old lady, but it's one of these manifestations of Pennywise or It or whatever you want to call the monster. And, yeah, it gets real freaky, real fast, with this old lady kind of walking around naked in the background while Jessica Chastain's character
it's so good
hanging out there, and then she comes in some kind of monstrous form that we don't get to see, and then it cuts and we get a small montage that shows us kind of the adult losers club, all the new actors, famous actors joining the cast, and just at the very end, of course, we get to see Bill Skarsgård back as Pennywise, kind of creep out of the shadows, and you know we're now back in the world of It, and so. This trailer was great for me. I'm a horror fan. I love the first installment, and I thought this, like I said, I love that it was a scene. That scene kind of really just set the tone for what this movie was and kind of reminded you of that without giving away too much. And, you know, we get these teases of, like, all these famous people who are now playing the adult versions of the losers, like James McAvoy, Bill Hader, the Old Spice guy, Isaiah Mustafa, and... yeah, man, this was a freaky trailer that Andy Muschietti put out. So bravo to the It team.
Yeah, that's awesome work. I mean, this is becoming like a franchise of surprises to me. Like I was really nervous about the first one, and then you know they did a great job with that. And then this trailer just threw us right into a scene that was just absolutely horrifying. And then we got all those quick cuts, and we get to see Pennywise. I mean, I think there was even like a face melter scene. I mean, and him flying over. I mean, it was. Yeah,
he was flying over on balloons, walking up walls.
It's those laughs,
tearing off his face, and
in between the beat of this trailer.
Yeah.
It's just so cool and different, and like you really just got into it because the rhythm is like here's a scene, and then that creepy laugh hits, and it becomes just like this drum beat. The rest of the trailer, I do kind of agree. Like, I love that, like, the first... because Jim actually said this earlier. That
oh, yeah. We're going to start introducing. Producer Jim Viscardi is here. I keep forgetting to introduce him. Like, whatever.
No, what I was saying, this trailer kind of feels like it was like half a horror movie trailer, half a superhero trailer, where it just felt like you got all the scary bits, and then boom, when it kicks into gear and you see the adult kids now who are basically like they feel like a superhero team that they got to go beat the bad guy and do whatever it takes and all that. Like, and even like the music shifted to that a bit.
It was a very Avenger-y.
Yeah,
it was a very Avenger-y
felt-
music cue right there.
Kind of felt, like just a superhero movie kind of towards the end. I mean, I know it's not, but like it sort of instilled that sense of like, oh yeah, I want to see these kids.
Well, I mean, it's
now
not too
grown
far
ups.
off. One scene in the trailer is them all holding hands and kind of with their eyes closed, which kind of brought up the question of, there is a major part of the story of this book that has to do with basically them learning to be superheroes from a turtle and having to kind of access these powers of connectiveness. We won't tell you how they do that in the book. It gets pretty gross at times, but, not to throw around words like child orgy, but like that's kind of what happens in the book or the first part. You're looking at me, but that's a true
I just
statement.
love. I know.
the book
I just love though that you're like, we're not gonna talk about it, but
The book
here's
is
the
aggressive.
word. Here's the word of it.
Not to throw around words like child orgy, but that's what Stephen King
That was
wrote into
what I
the
was
first
laughing.
book.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
like
what I
in the
was
first
laughing about.
installment of the book when they're kids. Yeah. So there's a whole plot line of them having to maintain connection and to access these powers to defeat it. And it looks like my question was for the second chapter was, are they going to get into all that? Because I skipped over it largely in the first one. And a couple scenes in this trailer make it look like they are going to try to access those quote unquote superpowers.
At least touch on it, right?
Yeah,
they might
definitely.
make some changes.
Yeah,
think they're
but it's going to
definitely
be
gonna
about
do
the
it.
idea of them being connected and having to come back to this town where, strangely, their memory of fighting this monster has largely faded, kind of regain these memories, which is what sends Jessica Chastain back into this house, and having to use their bond to kind of defeat the monster. So, I mean, the superhero analogy isn't too far off because there will be some of that, it looks like, kind of weird spiritual metaphysics.
Do we think we're going to see the creepy old lady monster, or is that something that they may just keep?
No, we're definitely going to see it.
we're seeing
Yeah,
it.
we're going to definitely see it. And it's going to definitely be horrible.
And props to that actress for just like I can't wait to see the full sequence. But my God, that was fantastic. Everything
minute-
about that
And the
performance was
footsteps. We
amazing.
got
The
to
minute,
the
she
footsteps.
starts
Yes.
the minute she starts screaming when Jessica Chastain wasn't answering her, I was like, oh, it's about to get real.
And just the way because I noticed too before she starts talking, you see the lights dim in that spot, right? You see it dim more and more and more as they keep cutting away, and then it's just pitch black. And that first moment where you see the little
Just
head
peeking
pop
over.
out, it's so creepy. It's such a benign action,
Yeah, she's
but
like
it's
back
so
in
creepy.
the kitchen, and Jessica Chastain's looking at a picture.
Yeah.
And she realizes the picture is, she says she's talking about her father during the circus, and you realize it's Pennywise.
So
And then,
good.
like,
But even we're totally forgetting one of the best parts of this trailer. How about that 5-second long dead silence
That was great.
Oh, where she just
where they're just staring at each
her
other?
face doesn't move.
And I was just like,
that's
that, and then it just boom, she just picks
and then
the
she
conversation
peels
right
away,
back
and you
up.
start to see
Yeah,
the
the
skin
splash and
so
all that
many
stuff.
pieces to that one scene, right? That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
and that was great. And apparently, what we've heard is that Brandon Davis and some other pundits from the industry saw the full clip at CinemaCon and say it's even freakier when you see the whole thing play out. And
That's awesome.
so
Oh, nice.
I can't wait.
that's gonna be so. Already, It Chapter 2 has sold us on just one scene we're
In.
seeing. So hopefully, there's a lot more we're seeing too. But knowing how the second chapter of that story goes, I'm really looking forward to this now. So. Man, it's going to be great. I mean, that's the one thing to look forward to in the fall movie lineup for early fall. September is usually oh my God, a graveyard of movies.
But now it's not.
Now it's not.
Anymore.
Yeah.
So, all right. It Chapter 2. If you haven't seen it, we have the trailer up on Comicbook.com. You got to check that out. Just don't do it at night while you're all alone. Moving right along. We're going to talk about another one.
Another one.
Another one.
I appreciate you.
So we're learning more about Disney's Aladdin and the soundtrack to Disney's Aladdin, the all-important soundtrack to these films. And we got a new version of A Whole New World, is it, that came out?
Yep.
Yep.
And that's featuring
Zayn and
I forget who else. it
forget
and a female vocalist.
I forget her name. I'm not really actually familiar with
Zavia
her.
Ward.
Yeah.
Okay. That person. So we have that track out, but the thing that kind of has triggered this office, and I'm sure triggered a lot of people
I.e.
around.
Charlie.
I.e. Charlie Ridgely. Yeah, I mean, if you don't know Charlie Ridgely's name, I mean, he is the most trigger-happy person in our office, probably by far, so you're going to hear his name. Basically, like, yeah, I mean, it is like DJ Khaled versus Charlie Ridgely in this office today, because it was announced that DJ Khaled will be joining Will Smith to do this new movie's version of the classic Genie song, Friend Like Me.
On the soundtrack.
On the soundtrack.
Not in the movie.
Not in the movie. Thank you for that.
Until
Yes.
the end credits.
Yeah. So this is your end credits, basically, like hip-hop anthem. And it's funny. I mean, people are just going nuts about, like, the fact that DJ Khaled's going to do it, but... I mean, DJ Khaled, like, I was just kind of half making a joke, but I was like, if anybody has a reason to make an Aladdin movie soundtrack, a guy named DJ Khaled is probably has more reason than most. But, I mean, this is standard for a lot of movies to, you get your hip-hop anthem at the end. This is definitely standard for Will Smith. If you've ever seen a Will Smith movie from the 90s, like...
But it's been a minute, right? Since
Yeah.
he kind of dipped into that bag. Like, it's been a minute
This
since he...
is the man in black.
It's been like a long time.
Like,
Yeah.
we still, me and Anissa still watch the Wild Wild West video once a
Wild
month.
West.
Once a month, because that video is better than the whole movie.
Wow. Oh,
But,
yeah,
like,
it is, by far.
And it's a great song,
And you can
right?
see just the best parts of the movie in the video.
Yeah, exactly. But the important distinction, I would totally understand if the main song in the movie had him involved and it was this big like, oh no. The fact that it's gonna be Will Smith's own interpretation of it in the movie, and then they're saving this for the soundtrack, whatever. I'm okay. Look,
Is this better or worse than Pitbull doing Africa?
In Aquaman, this is better.
this is better because it's relegated to just the soundtrack and the end credits. I'm fine with it. Do whatever the hell you want, but just don't mess up the core song. Also, as I kind of mentioned in our previous discussion, like, I'm totally fine. I like some of the DJ Khaled songs,
Yeah, so do
those
I.
beats and those songs I like. Now, it's not really because of him.
No, but hey, he's the man screaming over the track.
Right.
He's got his name on it. People signed off on it, so here we are.
Like, half the DJ Khaled songs I really like because T-Pain's on them. But, it's fine because
Yeah,
he
I
has
mean-
like 9 people on every track.
And if you don't like that one, there's always another one, and then another one. So
Well played.
I'm totally
Well
cool with
played.
this. For what it is, I don't know. This could be great. It depends on what. I
yeah, what
guess,
the track is like.
Yeah, it depends on the track. It's like also depends on if we get Will Smith that was on Instagram, his Instagram story or whatever, not crazy long ago, rapping back in the booth. I'm cool with that. If this is the Suits, what is it? The Suits Are Coming. The one from Men in Black 2. He did a single for that, and that Nod Your Head. That one kind of crashed and burned. So if we get that one, we'll pass.
Yeah, I mean, this is the guy who made "Summertime," a song I still listen to
Dude, get
every
jiggy with it.
summertime. Yeah, get jiggy with it.
Switch is a great song.
I mean, yeah, it's just gonna be your end credit song. So
What did you guys think about the regular, like the Zayn?
The Zayn.
And
I'm not going to listen to this because I do not like these Disney remakes that much and do not care that much. So, I mean, I'll hear it by association, but I'll let you tell me how
It was
I-
it was
Kofi
okay.
hates music.
I loved.
No, I love music. I just don't like
There's a-
reheated Disney songs.
He looked at me like I said I loved it. He's like, what? I'm like, wait, there's a but. I loved it when Zayn was singing because it felt like like the Ariana Grande, John Legend, Beauty and the Beast thing. It was very much a traditional homage with a few modern updates. His felt like that, and then when she starts singing, it gets this different.
It's like a different
feel.
song.
It really
I
is.
didn't mind it.
It didn't. Plus,
I
he's
enjoyed
a
it.
very gifted vocal performer. His voice, like
You bet to come out as a giant One Direction fan?
No, I'm just saying Zayn is a really good singer, and he has like a very distinctive tone. So then when you line up someone that doesn't,
So you're
have
glad he broke away from O-Town? From
O-Town?
damn it!
You tried to
One
troll
Day.
me.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's been doing good since they broke off from One Day. I mean, that's a whole separate debate. You can save that for your One Direction.
He's really come a
podcast.
long way since O-Town.
Yeah.
I liked it. I thought it was.
I thought it was fine. I would have loved to have a different voice type on that song with him.
Yeah,
it would have been
agreed.
great. But she was fine. She didn't do anything bad. I mean, it's a fine thing. I just won't go back and listen to that over and over. Or maybe I
Joe Jackson and you would have chosen a different female vocal.
Do you listen to the Ariana Grande, John Legend, Beauty and the Beast song over and over?
I listened to it a couple times. Yeah, it was a good song.
Yeah.
It's a good take. I also like Ariana Grande. So
There you go. All right, so Doesn't sound like there's too much to get mad about here.
I do.
Except maybe Matt's musical taste. That's about it. But we've already done that with his Amazon Music continuous pushing. We've already gotten on him for that. But let's wait and we'll hear with this like version of Friend Like Me, both the movie version and the kind of end credits, Khaled remixes, and we'll see what he says. I hope he drops some. I mean, DJ Khaled is funny. So I at least hope he drops some kind of like Arabic themed jokes or something.
If they do the video, maybe he'll dance.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, there you go.
His dancing is always
He's
entertaining.
like a sultan. I mean, he's got to be a
I'll watch that
sultan
all
just
day,
covered
yeah.
in gold. Like, I mean, that sounds like a. And
I mean, every one of his videos
Yeah.
where he sits at a mansion.
Yeah,
and he
his
has
son is Iago or something. I don't know. We'll
Jesus.
see what it is. He'll be like Jafar. It'll be great. It's gonna be great, guys. It'll be great.
It's gonna be lit. I'm just waiting for you to say it's gonna be lit.
All right, moving right along to more sane things. We're going to talk about, there was a Disney's investor meeting the other day, or shareholder meeting, where we got a couple new kind of good key facts worth kind of noting. The first is when we will be hearing about the MCU Phase 4 announcements. I mean, after Avengers Endgame, you know, this fandom doesn't stop. The Russos were like, we're just going to make this film. We're not going to put a post-credit scene. We're just going to let it be the end. And, like, everybody's going to sit. But, you know, there is zero chill in the Marvel fandom. So we're all, I mean, us included. I'm already writing dissertations about Kang the Conqueror and whatnot. So, like, yeah, we're all ready to know what comes next. Like, give us what's next. So, according to Disney CEO, we're probably going to get that information later on in the summer, is what the takeaway.
So probably Comic-Con?
Yeah, I mean, we're back to the same debate. I mean, we had this debate on the show like not too long ago about what the Marvel Cinematic Universe would do next and if they need Comic-Con still or D23 or their own specialized announcement events. But I was of the opinion that you should keep it at Comic-Con just because. I mean, just for continuity's sake. Like, this is where we launched the first phase of the MCU when the Avengers came out. The cast came out for the first time in 2010. One of the highlights of, like, my time in this industry. Like, you know, I was upstairs covering Hall H. Like, I was right above it, and you could just feel the floor, like, rumbling when people were losing their minds. Seeing all the Avengers on the first time, because it was like, I mean, this had never been done.
It's like an epic thing, yeah.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
This was crazy. So I hope we just bring it back around and we do something similar. And I hope they cast secretly. I hope they cast Eternals fully, Shang-Chi. Like, I hope they pick a Nova. I hope they pick a Miss Marvel.
They come out just like,
Yeah, and they're like, and I hope they get like somebody like I would even hope they pull Downey in for like one more passing of the torch. For him to just be like, here's your new class, I'm out, and then like just dip out the back door, no interviews or anything. Because that would be a Robert Downey Jr. thing to do, and just be like, I've been doing this for years, I'm done, but I brought some friends along with me, you know, like, and here they are. And they just lays out like, here's a bunch of people, here's the new directors, here's all the logos, welcome to Phase 4.
The
We're
Dark
out.
Hawk
Like,
movie,
yeah.
here it is.
well, now I want to see him do that.
Yeah, I know. Like,
Now you're saying all this, but I want to see
that
that
would be
happen.
really cool, right?
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Disney, if you're listening, get into our emails, figure out this plan. That was a
Jim
little
gave me
critical
such
reference.
the look of like death after
The Dark Hawk thing.
Slid
Yeah,
Dark
you did.
Hawk in
You
there.
almost killed my momentum with your Dark Hawk comment. But so later this summer, yeah, it's going to be at one of these events. It's going to be either at Comic-Con, which we're hoping for, D23, something like that. So that's when we'll get the Phase 4 announcements. Moving right along, we found out when we will be seeing Avengers Endgame hit streaming. This is a big deal because Endgame is going to be the first film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that is released on Disney Plus, correct?
Second film.
Is Captain Marvel first?
Captain Marvel's first.
I thought Captain Marvel was the last Netflix one.
No, it
No,
goes
it's
with
the first Disney Plus.
Oh, it's the first. Sorry.
But it's only like a month. Like it's
Yeah.
literally a month separation.
Yeah, all right. So there you go. Boom.
I mean, it's still a big deal, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Disney Plus will launch with Captain Marvel, and then on December 11th, it will be Avengers Endgame streaming time. That will be probably the big push for people to kind of sign up and get on Disney Plus.
Well, I bet it probably makes a great Christmas present type thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have to imagine they're banking on a lot of gifting stuff.
Also,
Yeah.
this will be great for their on-demand partners and stuff. They get it way ahead of their because like typically
if
Netflix,
they give it out.
you don't think they'll get it for
Netflix won't
on-demand
get it.
stuff?
No.
That's the whole point.
Like the cable packages though, and all that stuff where they have it for like a month after and all that. No,
Maybe.
I don't
May
think
not.
so. I think this is getting saved to push Disney Plus.
we just saw
Around, like Jim said, around as a Christmas gift and everything. And I mean, Infinity War, just crushed streaming when they released it on Christmas Day last year.
Yeah.
So giving it even more lead into the Christmas holiday.
and take down
Yeah, it's just like,
the surface.
exactly. Disney Plus crashes. But no, like Jim said, this is a perfect way. Why don't you release it? I mean, it was easy to do on Netflix when everybody already had Netflix, and then you just dropped it on Christmas. Not everybody's going to have Disney Plus, but this will be a damn good reason.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be a huge push.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna get people in. That's for sure.
Yeah, and it's $6.99 starting price. Like, I mean,
Can't beat that.
Yeah, people are going to be just, subscribing just to watch Endgame, and Captain Marvel. Sorry, I said and Captain Marvel.
No, I mean, those are all great things though. 2 movies in 2 months that like.
No, that's
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 great.
huge.
Yeah,
huge.
that's-
Huge. So, huge. So we're going to be really kind of excited for that. That's when you can get it. So if you've been wondering, that's the answer. As we've been kind of dancing around, Captain Marvel comes out a month earlier when Disney Plus launches. It'll be a launch title. So
Is that in November or something? I don't know what the.
that will be, in prepping for this show like an expert, I didn't actually look up.
Sometime in November.
Sometime in November. Whatever we told you on Comicbook.com, the Disney Plus launch date was, that's when Captain Marvel will be here. So we'll be looking for that. Yeah.
All that content for the price of renting it, like a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing.
Like, I'm not going to Xfinity for this. Like,
That's- yeah.
$6.99, I'm going to get the full Disney Plus service. I want all my Fox films. I'm going to go watch some Endgame, then I might run through some Alien, and I might run
Mandalorian.
through Predator just because it's Christmas.
Yep.
Die Hard, all that stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this Disney Plus thing the closer it gets. This is sounding better and better, but yeah, that'll be I'm saying it like it's happening tomorrow, but it's only May right now.
Ways off.
But you think that, but I think we've learned around here. You blink your eyes and time just passes, and then all of a sudden you're on New Mutants' 5th release date.
Yeah, because at one point we were like, "Oh my God, Endgame happens in a year."
Yeah, how are we gonna make it?
then
now
it
it's over.
Yeah,
Now it's over, and Iron Man's dead.
We're already talking about this kind of screen.
Oh,
Spoilers for Endgame.
you can send your angry responses to.
Oh man. But all right, so that's going to be exciting things to look forward to around Christmas time. Now, as a final little bonus, I'm just going to say, as we record this today, it is Goku Day today. Yes. This is Goku Day, May 9th, mostly because the Japanese parts of Goku's name, Go and Ku, kind of translate to being today. So today's Goku Day. The Dragon Ball OG is still around, better than ever. And so this is not so much a news story as just a push to say, if you love Goku, you love Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, great time to jump in as we're always pushing, and you can find great content for that on Comicbook.com, our anime page.
So
you know.
Goku Day is basically like a fake holiday, like May the 4th.
Yeah, or any of the days we say it's National Fill in a Piece of Food Day.
Yeah, Donut Day or
Donut Day, Yellow Sprinkle Cupcake Day.
What are you doing to celebrate it?
Goku Day?
Yeah. Have Goku
Writing about
design
Game of
cupcakes or
Thrones,
something?
writing about
Ooh,
Game
that's
of
a good
Thrones
idea.
and Avengers all day, mostly.
Great idea.
Yeah, Goku.
I'll
cupcakes.
expect those in the office.
Yeah,
Yes.
something fun.
Well, it is today. I mean, it's right now, so I think we're a little too late.
Well, the day's not over.
Yeah, anime queen Megan Peters isn't here. She's on vacation. She's enjoying her Goku Day in real style. So we just wanted to say happy Goku Day to all our anime fans out there because comic book anime you gotta rep. So that'll do it for that. Now stay tuned because when we come back, we are gonna get into the big sloppy process of talking about these summer movies that are coming out. All right, so summer movie preview 2019. Here we go.
Summer movie.
I figure we'll just take this month by month. We'll go by I'll give you what's coming out. You guys tell me what you're looking forward to, and if there's anything you're going to avoid like the plague. So starting from this weekend in May, we have for the month of May, Detective Pikachu, the J.R.R. Tolkien biopic, appropriate name, Tolkien. John Wick 3.
Yes.
Aladdin. Brightburn, which is kind of the James Gunn produced dark horror Superman
buddy.
version of Superman. Booksmart, which I'm looking forward to as a sleeper, is a comedy movie. It's kind of like a female Superbad, which is directed by Olivia Wilde. Yeah, kind of she's making her power move to director. Godzilla, King of the Monsters, which if Megan Peters was here, she'd be going gaga over. I was on the set for that one, and I hear it's actually going to turn out to be a really good movie. So I'm good because like most of the set visits I've done have turned out to be like horrible movies. I was on the American Ultra.
Kofi is he's just a curse on
Yeah, I mean seriously, that's the way it felt. Like I went on the American Ultra set visit. Remember that movie?
Oh yes, I did.
Yeah, exactly.
The trailers made that movie look awesome, and then just
So did the set visit.
it was.
All right. Godzilla 2, and the last but not least is Ma, the horror film with
Thinking that already came out.
with Olivia. What's her name? Oh man, I'm blanking.
Viola Davis.
No. Wow.
Octavia
Octavia
Spencer.
Spencer.
Yeah, Octavia
Neither
Spencer.
one of us, the black guy and the brown guy, were totally wrong on all fronts about that one. Thank God
my
the white man
God.
on the couch had it straight.
Way to
Yeah,
dodge that bullet.
Octavia Spencer. Viola Davis, I'm like Olivia. They're like, no, Octavia Spencer. And it's kind of a subversive comedy about like teen and youth culture and all that.
It looked
stuff.
great. Since the trailer.
Yeah, the trailer kind of threw me for a loop there. Like it gets dark.
Yeah, it gets
fast,
super
like-
dark.
like,
Yeah,
whoa.
real fast. And it's kind of like a black comedy, almost horror.
Yeah.
It's going to be really interesting. So I guess that brings us to the top. In May, I'm looking forward to. I mean, the simple picks for me are obviously Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and John Wick 3. But on the kind of lesser known note, I'm really looking forward to Booksmart, which I have a screening coming up in a couple weeks because it just looks hilarious in like a fresh comedy, in a fresh kind of female comedy. And we have all these male like high school coming of age tales, but we don't have a lot of good female ones that don't deal with like trying to get some boy or something. And one of the main characters is actually, she's gay, she's into girls, and that's like one of her whole storylines is she's like this awkward girl trying to meet other girls. The other one's a comedic actress I think she's the girl from like Neighbors 2. Yes. Yeah, the one, Kappa New, bitch.
Yep.
Like the one who's I'm on painkillers, like that girl. And this looks like a big breakout role for her.
Yeah.
And she's hilarious. So.
The trailer looked absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, I like the music. I like the trailer.
Yeah.
Like it all looked great. I like the joke at the end. She's getting like the smart girl is getting arrested, and there she's like,
Oh, yeah.
in the cop car. She's like, shotgun. I'm just kidding. I don't have.
I'm just
one.
kidding. I don't have. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was nailed it.
Yeah. So that, and I'm looking forward to Ma. Like I like kind of twisted comedy about like the Misery type, Kathy Bates Misery type. So I'm looking forward to that. What about you guys, Matt?
I'm looking forward to Aladdin. I'm very excited for this movie. This is one of the. I'm probably, like I said before, I'm probably more enthused about this one than some of the other live action ones that Disney has coming out later this year. Also, Brightburn. I'm not like the biggest horror person. Like I don't take in as many horror movies as I do other genres. But this I think also because it is James Gunn's play on, that Superman story of like, well, what if like people who were like, he could be a threat were right? Like all these things and it's alien stuff that's going on in it. And it just looks good. Like it's every time they show a clip.
Yeah, it's just the most horrific application of Superman's powers that you could think of. Like,
and they just released that clip that's
the
like,
eye.
oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
people were messed up about the eye.
If
you haven't seen this, I'm not going to tell you too much about it, but there's a clip from Brightburn that's been released. If you really want to get curious about this movie, like with it, don't wait while you're feeling faint of heart to watch this clip.
No, and so that has me like I'm really interested to see what stuff they've held back, what stuff they haven't shown in the trailer, and I'm really on. Also, Ma looked really good too. My only thing was like I feel like I've been seeing trailers for this for a while, and it gets kind of buried sometimes under all the stuff that's coming out.
It'll probably be on your on-demand.
It looked really good.
I hope they release that like as one of those also in theaters that like I can watch at home on-demand.
Ooh, yeah.
That'd be great. But Jameson, what are you looking forward to?
I got 2. So John Wick 3.
Yeah.
I am super pumped for John Wick 3. And then the second Godzilla. They had like the trailers that they've had leading up to this have been beautiful and awesome. And it's this. I think double check me, but I think it's the same director who did Trick or Treat from like way back when.
Yeah. Mike Dougherty. Yeah, Mike
So
Dougherty
I'm really
doing
curious
Godzilla
to see like his direction style and like application to a movie of like this caliber.
Trick or Treat is so good.
It's so good.
He's been. I mean, everything I saw on the set and all the visuals and the concept art, and which looks like me and Megan has seen the film. She can't really say anything publicly about it, but she kind of just let me know that a lot of what I loved about the concept art and the production it has actually made it into the finished movie.
Yep.
And that it's pretty badass and it's much better and much more of what fans wanted than the original Godzilla.
Yep.
So none of that slow burn to one monster fight stuff. No, we're going in.
And by the way, that movie looks awesome too.
Yeah, the original. I mean, the original was good, but it was definitely like you had to wait. You had to be dedicated and like kind of sit through some stuff, and it was definitely a slow burn. And I mean, we only saw Godzilla for just like a little pocket of time. Like this, I want to see him on screen. I want to see some monsters going at each other. I want that action.
Well,
so.
that was something that Kong had. You
Yeah,
immediately got
yeah.
into. Okay, like that. There's Kong. I'm actually going to get to know this creature and see the things built around it. And this looks like
I get
it has
to
that
live in
same
the
approach.
action for the duration of this movie.
You know, so yeah, I can't.
All right. So May. Looks like we're sitting okay for May. That's good. Now let's start to push further into the summer. June, we have X-Men, Dark Phoenix, Men in Black International, Shaft, Child's Play, Toy Story 4, and Annabelle Comes Home. For me, I'm going to say that the two that I'm looking forward to, I'm going to go and stick with the horror genre on this because I'm morbidly curious about Child's Play.
Really?
I'm not convinced at all that it's going to be good, but I'm morbidly convinced
I'm
to
right
see.
there with you.
I want to see, like we talked about it when the most recent trailer came out. The thing that I think could be a good selling point is that Chucky is a smart toy in this one who can control other electronic and sync with other electronic devices and begins to use that to really screw with people and kill them. That could lead to some inventive, like Final Destination style kills. I'm hoping that they were smart and did something like that. And I want to go see it to see if that kind of aspect of it, because that would fundamentally change the entire nature of Child's Play as a series. So if they pull that off and do that well, then it's earned its spot as a remake. But if it's just another stupid doll, generic kills with just like a modern polish on it, then it should be down there with the Platinum Dune stuff, like the Friday the 13th remake, the Texas Chainsaw, Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Like it's just going to be that kind of
Those are so
well
bad.
polished, completely devoid of soul, generic horror remake. So I'm going to take it one for the team, mostly because, the editors here forced me to take one for the team and review it. So I'm going to go see that, and hopefully it turns out well. Annabelle Comes Home, I'm looking forward to because I love the Annabelle series. The first one was I love the Conjuring series. The first Annabelle was kind of a muddled mess, but Shazam director David F. Sanders did a great job with Annabelle Beginnings. I forget. Creation, yeah. There's so many subtitles to these now. And this is just basically like Night at the Museum with demon monsters and led by Annabelle and with some teens stuck in a house. And that sounds like a recipe for a good time to me. So, I'm looking to see, because it'll be like the Avengers of demonic creatures and probably setting up the Conjuring. They were like, we need this Conjuring franchise to last another 10 years. So we're going to meet a whole menagerie of creatures that will probably eventually get their own spin-offs and whatnot. That would be great. So I'm looking forward to the actual horror story and then the larger universe world building. Nice.
Kind of feels like it could be, for me anyway, what I wanted the Goosebumps movie to be.
Oh.
But this could be that.
This could be
hey,
the
let's
one-
see
yeah.
the greatest hits of all these terrible things they've
Yeah.
collected over the years in a small environment.
Like claustrophobic, in there. Yep.
Because Goosebumps had that idea, and they're like, "Oh, Unleash on the City," and then it became this. Yeah, it was just kind of.
It became something else. So those are the two for me. What about you guys?
Jameson?
So I'm right there with you with Child's Play. I'm pumped about it, but I'm cautious with it because I'm a Don Mancini with Child's Play 2, that original vision. I'm very dedicated to that. So I'll be very curious, to your point, about how they actually go at this from a plotting standpoint. Like, how are they going to do this? Because it seems like that AI angle is going to be the route they go. But I'm pretty nervous about it. And then the design, I'm not a huge fan, but I definitely do want to see this movie. And then Toy Story 4. Toy Story 4. So I've grown up since, what was it, 95, 96?
Yeah, 95, 96.
There's the
somewhere
first
around there.
Pixar movie, right?
Yeah.
If I remember.
Yep.
I remember seeing that in the theater. with my dad, and just like we grew up with these characters, and this is the final one. So seeing,
so they say.
or so they say.
2027.
Well, I
Avatar
imagine-
5 and Toy Story 5.
I imagine if anything, they will do a spin-off and not necessarily do Toy
Yeah,
Story.
I feel like with these characters, like it's going to be the final one, but it's. Yeah, I think it's going to
we're
wreck
getting to the
me.
point where Andy is a failed man-child living alone in a studio apartment, and the only thing he has is his box of toys, and it's like now they got to figure out an assisted suicide plan.
You just described the live action remake of it.
Well, this is my like Brightburn, this is my Brightburn version of Toy Story. Yeah, I mean, you guys are all. I know Matt's already in for that, but
Yep.
I never got into after the original. I never thought it should be a series. I think the first one is like a perfect, like
By
little
itself.
snapshot
By itself, yeah,
of
like standalone.
childhood, yeah. And then it gets deeper. I
do
just
love
like,
too. Yeah, I am right there with you. So Toy Story 4, I'm excited about. And for, most of the reasons that he said, like, it's just the Toy Story series does hold a special place. It's not my favorite Pixar movie or series, but it's up there. Also for me, I wasn't thrilled with the first trailer to Men in Black International, but the second trailer won me over
is a
more.
lot better.
Yeah, I'm kind of cautiously optimistic about that. We'll see if maybe like that
the
final
selling
trailer
point,
can do
I
it.
think like Chris Hemsworth playing like a Devil May Care Jack or James Bond type is pretty funny to begin with. And him and Tessa Thompson just after Thor Ragnarok somehow they like struck this chemistry.
Yeah.
It's just so good for the two of them.
Works really well on screen.
Yeah, that last scene and their little helper guy is kind of funny too.
Oh my God,
The last
yes.
scene, like, are we gonna play with like one of the most dangerous weapons in the universe?
Pawnee.
What?
Is it Pawnee? Yeah, that's his name. Oh my God. Well, I mean, okay, we needed another Frank, right?
Yeah.
We needed a alien pug to tell, like, we needed that, and now they have that, and I feel like that does help with the levity. Plus, the whole reason I'm really interested in it is their chemistry. They make the other stuff we've seen in the other movies, so that's not going to be new. But I'm cautiously optimistic.
I mean, this was basically like their chemistry and European jokes.
Yeah, I'm also, by the way, as you are with Child's Play, I am morbidly curious about Dark Phoenix.
I was gonna say, I was hoping somebody was gonna mention it. Otherwise,
I'm going to see it. I want to see how it turns out. I don't think it'll be the dumpster fire that I feel like everyone thinks it will, but it's not going to be good. I'm not saying it's going to be good either. But I am curious. I want to see what they do for the last one.
It's gonna be a movie. They're gonna
Doesn't
be people in
matter.
it. They're gonna have.
It
access to
doesn't
shit.
matter, but that's still fine.
I mean, I
still
want to
wanna
see it
what
just
they do.
because I'm going to be excited for ideas for great Game of Thrones, Dark Phoenix mashups with like Sophie Turner, like Battle of Winterfell with Phoenix, like mashup scenes. Like it's going to be great. So I mean, that's it. I mean, Dark Phoenix. I'm going to go see it, but like, I'm so over it. I'm so over. The X-Men
I've
movie
been ready
franchise.
to turn the page
Yeah,
on that.
like-
I'm just saying I am curious.
Had the Disney Fox thing not have happened, would you be more excited?
No, I'd be calling for a reboot right now because I think
yeah.
Days of Future Past set it up again for new life. It breathed new life into the franchise, and then they just took a complete dump all over it with Apocalypse, which was once again back to the kind of same boring formula. Like,
I mean, I'll argue
3 sound stages and a green screen finale.
I'll argue they
Deal,
did
like-
it in Days of Future Past. They didn't even wait till their next movie to take a crap on what they had just done. Because the end of that movie, when you go and see all the old actors and everything, I'm like, no, the whole point of this was to give it fresh life, and you brought in all this old crap that we're done with.
Oh,
no,
buddy,
they
as
didn't
somebody-
even wait. They
As somebody who had to write extensive features about explaining the X-Men continuity after Days of Future Past, you're like, you don't got to sell me on
Right,
that.
yeah. I thought when I saw that, I went, well, there you go. Oh, well.
Well, in June, Dark Phoenix is a movie that has people that you can pay for to see. So we're going to move along to July. And yeah, summer's going to get trimmer as we go along. July has Spider-Man Far From Home, the creature feature Crawl, The Lion King, and Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. For me, I'm looking forward to Spider-Man Far From Home, and I'm looking forward to Crawl. Crawl is coming from Alexandre Aja, the director of Hills Have Eyes, High Tension, and a bunch of other gross horror movies that make you squirm. And I forget who's producing it. It's somebody good.
Sam Raimi.
Oh, Sam Raimi, yeah. So Yeah, it's basically about, it's like a movie, it's like that Christian Slater movie, Hard Rain,
Hard
meets
Rain.
Lake Placid, because
Yes.
there's a town that's getting flooded and these alligators are coming in, and it looks like a simple, like almost like pretty much predominantly single setting horror movie that is basically like trying to survive this thing. And I gotta admit, I'm coming to love those things. Like I love the Liam Neeson thrillers on different vehicles, like the commuter on the train,
On a plane,
on a plane,
yeah.
nonstop,
That's
like all that stuff. And I like single setting horror, I really do. So I'm kind of looking forward to that because it just looks like a good B horror movie that's going to be entertaining. And like I said, I'm on a horror kick. And Spider-Man, the intrigue for this has gone up way higher since we just did it on the last episode, since Endgame is out. I'm looking forward to seeing everything about the new MCU, all these answers, and explaining who Mysterio is, if there's the chameleon in this movie, like all these. I feel like there's going to be some massive surprises, and it's either going to be a really good twist on expectations or the next Iron Man 3. I'm just going to be there to figure out which one it is. I mean, that's already being thrown around.
Really?
Yeah, because
This is new
I
news
hadn't
to
heard
me.
of that.
Yeah.
follows the Avengers. It goes back on a solo mission of a major hero who's experiencing some kind of PTSD after this big battle, and we have a villain who seems to be one thing, but it may get the rug pulled out from under us and find out the villain we think is in the film is not at all really the villain.
Those are all good points.
So like,
Yeah, those are really good points. This is the first time I've heard this.
Yeah.
So.
yeah, no, there's a lot of Iron Man 3 parallels that are shaping up, so some people are worried. But I'm going to be there to find out which it is because I love Homecoming, so I'm really excited to see what this next chapter does and if this franchise is really going to have the legs that, I mean, it kind of needs to as a, I mean, the movie is kind of meta in saying, like, we need somebody to step up to be the next Iron Man.
Yeah.
Like, that's not just in the context of the film. That's like Marvel needs another Flash character.
Yeah.
Hopefully the original one they always wanted to have but couldn't have when they began the MCU.
Yeah.
So we're going to see how that goes. So that's it for me.
I'm a lot of the same reasons we talked about last show. Far From Home, I'm interested, but more about the world building, more to see how that ends and how it sets things up rather than the movie as a thing in itself. I'm also interested in Lion
What are you
King.
really expecting it to set up?
More about the world. Just like if he lives up to the expectation, what does he become by the end of it? Do they set him up to become
Shield agent,
yeah, like there's
like
a
a
lot
major
of that
Avenger,
stuff.
like all that stuff. What is
See,
he?
I feel like if anything, none of that would happen in a Sony Pictures movie.
I mean, it depends. It may or may not. I mean,
Yeah.
they had to find some kind of balance to put this after Endgame.
And if it
like, yeah.
doesn't, then my already low expectations, like the trailer looks good too, and I hate that I'm always negative about Spider-Man movies because I like Homecoming. The movie in itself is like, oh, that's really fun, but I want it to be something memorable, and I want it to see actually contribute some longer lasting things. If it doesn't do that, it'll be just like Homecoming, a fun movie that I will forget about in a month and move on to the next thing. So, but I'm also intrigued about The Lion King. Like I said, I'm not completely sold on it, but I feel more and more trailers, they'll give us some of that charm and we'll be good. So that's for me.
Crawl all the way. All the way. I'm excited for this, like, rock, return back to like rock and roll horror, like set in one place, and it's produced by Sam Raimi. I mean, and after that trailer, I mean, I'm here for it. And then I'm interested in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, just to see, like, I'm always interested to see what Tarantino is going to roll out, because it's typically always a very, very good product. It's a really good screenplay with really good direction. So I'm really curious, especially with those two leads acting together. Like, I'm pumped.
Yeah,
to
it's
see it.
DiCaprio and who else? Who's
Brad
the other
Pitt.
person? Brad
Yep.
Pitt. Yeah, and then Margot Robbie's in it. Like, yeah. I was gonna touch on that and say that, like, I'm not betting against Tarantino. I just really, even after the trailers, I really don't know what to expect.
I don't really know what it's about.
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah.
I mean, I know, like, they teed it up as like a Manson-esque movie, like in the early time of, like, when it was starting to film, but now it's like this, not as much. I can't quite figure it out, like, what it's exactly about.
My only worry about it is it could be incredibly inside baseball about
Yeah.
Hollywood, the history of Hollywood, and all the kind of, the realities behind all the kind of illusions that Hollywood, like the Bruce Lee character is a funny example.
Yeah.
Like how they present Bruce Lee in the movie, compared to what you would assume Bruce Lee's on, is from his on-screen persona. So we're interested to see that, but I have no idea what it's going to bring. So that's why I didn't pick that one. All right, last but not least, as we're rounding down time, August, where the pickings are just slim. And we have Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw. I have Artemis Fowl here, but that's been moved, right? Yeah, that got moved, so... That got moved since it's time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Hobbs and Shaw and Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. There are a bunch of other movies, but none of them that anybody would want to see here, so... I guess my picks for this are Hobbs and Shaw and Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I want to see Hobbs and Shaw because I need a Fast and Furious. I need something, and I'm glad it's in August because after all this, I'm just going to need something mindless.
That movie's gonna make so much money though, being like the only big movie
yeah.
in August and for
It'll
the
print
foreseeable
money.
future.
Oh,
I
The
mean,
Rock-
it's gonna make money.
The Rock's
anyway,
not
but
stupid, and and by then I'm going to need something brainless
Yep.
and just fun and dumb to laugh at with a tub of popcorn in my hands, and that's gonna be it.
It looks so good.
Yeah.
So ridiculous and
Exactly, and
But it's so
everybody-
funny. It looks so much. The ridiculousness is better than I would, or it seems like it will be better than the ridiculousness of Fast 8.
Okay.
In that way, like
Well, you mean you do see The Rock running down the side of a skyscraper at one point?
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah.
And the last
That's the
movie,
vehicle.
you
And
got
he
on
caught
top
it-
of a torpedo.
Yeah, no, he caught it with his bare hand.
I don't know. We're splitting hairs as far as ridiculousness goes.
But no, Hobbs and Shaw just looks like it has a better vibe and more fun vibe to it, than the last Fast and Furious movie did. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to that. And Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, I'm looking forward to just because I read that book. Yeah. All three of them. I mean, those were the books I bought at book fairs when I was a kid in school, in elementary school. And yeah, they were scary. They used to scare the crap out of me. So I'm looking to see how they do with it as a kind of anthology. And I like anthologies. So yeah. I mean, obviously, if you haven't gotten this from pattern, I'm just kind of horrored out this whole summer. It sounded like I said hoard out. That is true too, but horror out this whole summer.
It up.
Yeah.
Mine is Fast and Furious. I'm not really. I didn't have the same attachment.
Yeah, I mean,
in
no.
the dark. So
Scary Stories tell I just dated
Yeah.
myself. That's late 80s, 90s stuff.
So for me, it's that, and it's for pretty much all the reasons you said.
So, I mean, Scary Stories. I mean, I'm right there with you. That was that and Goosebumps were the book fair books.
Yeah.
So I read those when I was younger, and being able to see those on the screen, I'm pretty pumped about it. And then the trailer was pretty good.
Yeah.
The trailer was pretty good. It represented what those, that artwork that came from the books pretty well.
Yeah.
So that got me pretty excited.
All right, that'll do it for our summer movie preview. Guys, if you want to let us know what you are looking forward to this summer and what you are going to avoid like the plague, be sure to hit us up at the hashtag #ComicBookNation, where you can continue any discussion with us. If you are just kind of getting into the show, you can find us several different ways. You can find new episodes every Wednesday and Friday, posted on Comicbook.com, where we provide an RSS feed for you to subscribe to. You can also subscribe on the following platforms: iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts. You can also tell any Amazon Alexa device to play Comic Book Nation podcasts, and you can get it going that easy. And we suggest you try because it's a lot of fun when you do. Yeah, and like I said, if you want to continue discussion, hashtag Comic Book Nation, or you can talk to us individually for me, it's at Kofi Outlaw. Got my own for a minute there.
It's Matt Aguilar CB.
And for me, it's at Jameson G. Brown.
And if you have any sterling reviews of the show, cliffhanger.
The way you delivered it was
That's a big cliffhanger. right
Yeah,
there.
well, my brain froze. I didn't know what I was going to say there. I had a mini aneurysm or something. Anyway, if you are going to leave a sterling review of the show, you can do so on any one of those platforms, and we will be reading reviews regularly. And if we read your review on air, we will send you some comic book swag, so be sure to get those reviews out. iTunes has been killing it, but we could use more on Spotify or Stitcher or iHeartRadio. So if you're on those services, do us a favor, go in, leave us a review, give us 5 stars, and let us know you did so we can read it on air and get you some swag. There are other ways to get you some swag, too. If you're out promoting the show on social media and sharing it with your friends in a very public way, we've kind of rewarded people for that. So if you're basically just riding with us and you're a dedicated fan, we appreciate it, and we love to show that appreciation. That'll do it for this episode of
Oh,
Comic
wait,
Book-
hold on. I gotta put in one more plug. If you're gonna go see Detective Pikachu this weekend, make sure you check out our new Pokemon podcast, A Wild Podcast.
Yes. All right. I keep forgetting this. We're expanding our podcast empire. So if you're loving Comic Book Nation and you are a Pokemon fan, we have something for you. We have a Wild Podcast has appeared, our official Pokemon podcast every week, where we do news, we get into deep podcast or deep subjects about Pokemon, and we have some pretty serious Pokemon experts that break down individual Pokemon, other elements of the world, and all that stuff you want to listen to. And this is a great week, like Jim said, because it's the debut of Detective Pikachu in theaters. So now's a great time to hop on if you're just kind of a casual fan of Pokemon and you want to get in deeper. This is a great place to do it, so be sure to listen to that. All right, that'll do it for us here at Comic Book Nation. We'll see you guys next time. Peace out.
Deuces.
Later.